Unpopular opinion. This sub is anti-work in its sentiment but pro-work in its effect. This is just about my observation that whenever someone actually contemplates or even attempts an escape from working, most people in this sub react with negativity and a myriad of reasons why this is a very bad idea. There have been people posting who actually succeeded to free themselves from work, usually through frugality and some sacrifice. And the reaction was mostly very negative. Like, what about a medical emergency? Or, I wouldn't want to live like that. Then there's been this guy or gal who pondered if he or she could live off $2 rental income today. And again, instead of being supportive and thinking of ways to make it work, everybody's coming up with reasons why it won't work or why it is not enough and the person in question needs to keep working. This whole thing feels like the crabs in a bucket scenario where everybody's frustrated but no one's allowed to escape. And, ironically, this might just be the most pro-work thing imaginable, because everybody can freely vent their frustrations as much as they want. But at the end of the day we keep arguing to ourselves and each other why we need to continue working, much as we hate it. I do realize that reality is harsh and that most people can't quit without putting their and their family's livelihood into jeopardy, but there are ways out. Not without sacrifice. And I personally think we should be more supportive of that. Till that you can get dishonorably discharged from the Navy for boarding the wrong vessel just once. Whoops. Wrong sub. Then there's been this guy or gal who pondered if he or she could live off $2 rental income today. And again, instead of being supportive and thinking of ways to make it work, everybody's coming up with reasons why it won't work or why it is not enough. In my experience, it's mostly people saying that being a landlord is morally repulsive. The piece of the puzzle you're missing is that at its core the anti-work message of this sub is anti-capitalist. We're not looking for individual solutions, most of which are evil or unsustainable at large scale, but systematic change that improves the lives of everyone. Wait, so you think the landlord is anti-work? How are the people who pay the landlord supposed to make money? Well, we don't live in Gene Roddenberry's vision of our planet at the moment. Housing isn't just provided. We don't have replicators that can produce food or items we need from energy. We have basic needs that need to be met, and in this time and place, work is the primary way to meet those needs. Our beliefs, ideas, and feelings do not negate this. And our acceptance of this fact is not required. It just is a fact right now. Will it always be this way? Hopefully not. People are starting to wake up to the problems. Cracks are starting to appear in the system. The powers that be who benefit from this system are realizing that people are becoming aware. They view our way of thinking akin to a disease. And we have to, in a way, embrace that. We need to spread our way of thinking faster than they can cure it through misinformation, propaganda, and identity politics and other wedge issues. But, again, recognizing the system is what it is at this time and having to exist within it does not make anyone pro-work. Work tolerant would be a better term. Most people in this sub react with a myriad of reasons why this is a very bad idea. Correct. To successfully achieve a no-work life, all the downsides must be known and mitigated. At the moment, that's particularly hard, but not impossible, to do. For people age 65 and older, the biggest roadblock, health insurance, no longer applies. Because many of these ideas only work on the expense of other people's labor and therefore would make the person one of our oppressors. Some people are proud to have cheated the system so they don't have to work and can live on benefits. But these benefits are paid for via taxes which come from the labor of regular people. Other ideas like living off rental properties mean that other people have to work for you so that your mortgage is paid and that you get a nice little salary for sitting on your ass while the renter is struggling. If someone finds a way not to work that is not on the expense of other people, then that's great. That particular case was basically someone asking if they could live off $24,000 a year that they get from a rental property. This is the anti-work sub and not the anti-can afford to live sub. Pointing out that a medical emergency would be catastrophic to someone's non-work plan is not being negative. The rental income guy, we hate landlords here. I wouldn't want to live like that, is just the internet. You post an opinion, or what you're doing to thousands of people. Yeah, a lot are gonna chime in, not for me. Of course you didn't ask. But that's the internet, lol. But I'll agree there are people here who hate their job but are actually still capitalists at heart. Other than that, sure, there are many here who just hate their job, not capitalism. This sub is not because no one wants to work anymore. People want to feel like they are contributing, whether it be working, creating, investing in themselves or others. If UBI became a reality, a lot folks would continue to work. We want to be paid appropriately for our contributions. Workers are tired of being the afterthought. We are not stupid. Everyone sees the record profits, record sales, record blah blah, and we attend and read corporate memos, town halls, etc. We know what's going on when in one town hall they talk about cutting 5K heads to streamline and then talk about how much we have succeeded. I don't think the higher UPS realize how much we are listening or appreciate it. Anti-work is hardly pro-landlord. Also, have you tried living off of $24,000? Sure, it's possible if you ride a bicycle everywhere, eat rice and beans every day, never break your leg, or are happy to accept government assistance. Outside of that, there are some select few people that are able to eke out an existence on that income due to some extraordinary circumstances. But it's not the norm. Shit. A new roof on one of those houses will be half that annual income. Maybe more. For some context, consider that my well below national average priced house in a rural area costs me $4,000 per year in property tax alone. Multiply that by 2 houses, and suddenly that $24,000 is a third gone. Living off of rent you collect from other people is just wrong. Based on what I've seen on here, I've only seen people asking for advice because they not educated about their rights as a worker, and bosses, managers, even co-workers take advantage of their ignorance. Especially when it comes to health, safety and money. Even signing a contract. Never sign one unless a lawyer sees it, or better yet, don't sign anything. Anyways, I'm here to give advice where I can and also learn from others. Anyone know if there's a forum to see other side of the coin from the owner's, boss's, company point of view of the worker? Send me the link. Thanks. Just now realizing all people are indoctrinated by capitalism and cannot escape it or its sentiments entirely when the entire planet is in the same system. It's because when you're talking about dreams and utopia, idealism works. When you're talking about individual circumstances, realism works. Obviously nobody is going to rent out a house and pay taxes on 2 homes plus all upkeep plus cover vacancies plus cover all living expenses on $24,000 per year. Reality doesn't allow that to happen. However, idealism does play a part in saying, nobody should be a landlord. Is it realistic? Of course not. If you're looking through the lens of reality, the idea is laughable. But is it idealistic? Yes. If you're daydreaming about what utopia would look like and have no interest in details or reality, of course it would be wonderful to fantasize about not needing any income and having housing and food that's free. I kinda assumed this subreddit started as truly anti-work, in the sense of, I don't wanna work. But during COVID the focus shifted to highlighting the abuses, struggles, and hardships of the average American wage slave. A landlord advocating for living off the labor of others. Totally aligns with the vision of this subreddit. Buy a small piece of land. Grow food. Live. We just want to own the means of production, man. Lol, sorry that people want to live a happy, comfortable life without working themselves to the bone. We can have both. And that's what people want. Living outside the system isn't just a small sacrifice. It is quite literally making yourself totally homeless and relying on others for some semblance of support, whether monetary or dietary. Like, certainly it's possible to live as a wanderer or a vagabond or a train hopper, and many do, but there's an infinitely small portion of the population who would be happy doing this. Like, certainly you could go pitch a tarp on BLM land and live in total isolation if you're self-sufficient, but again, how many people could or would even want to do that for the rest of their lives? For me personally, I make about $30,000 a year on top of my salary from my job from a military disability check, and even the thought of having to live on just that, let alone support a family? It's just not possible for me.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.